Right, I've really got to bite the bullet and get on with this end of the shed. It's quite a mammoth task. Part of thinking that way is what's been holding me back from doing it. So what I've decided to do is just do this little square that's the sort of L shape on the end. And it houses a lot of stuff, the milling machine and the ML7, and I want to move the MCO. I want to unbolt that from the floor and get that moved. I want to clear this little bit out. I'm going to then try washing and painting this to see how that goes. I'm probably thinking along the lines I'll eventually refurb and get rid of the ML7. The pillar drill needs a lot of work. The milling machine needs a lot of work. It's just a lot of work. But I need to stop thinking about it and get on with it, because thinking about it overwhelms me and I end up not doing anything. So, onward and upward. I'm going to try and get on with it. Everything is so difficult. I've managed to clear the cupboard out from under here. I've got a little bit of a rethink on how I do things. As I'm taking stuff out, I'm trying to clean it at least a little bit, so when I ain't got gloves on, my hands don't get covered in crap. So I've got the cupboard with all the milling attachments that did live underneath the milling machine. I've disconnected the milling machine, took the display off it, and now I've got to move it over the other side of the workshop. Trouble is, I can't bloody lift it. And it's only a few years ago I brought this up here and I managed to get it up here then, but I can hardly move it, so I'm going to go out the back, go outside and resurrect this old trolley thing I had my old welder and that on. So I'm going to clean that up and see if I can move that in position and slide the milling machine onto it and then move it about. Such a pain in the arse. So I'm stripping the milling machine down as much as I can so I can move it about because it's too heavy. Just not quite sure how this scowl comes off, because it all needs, everything needs to come off to clean it properly, because it really does need a clean. I'm guessing I've got to take the cover off because I can see these two spacers here. So I'll take this cover off and see if I can get to it, because it came, I didn't put these scales on it, so I'm not sure how they were fitted. With the cover off, you've got a couple of little Allen screws here which obviously hold it to this. I hate wearing gloves, you can't do anything with gloves. Just keep catching. Right, that's that free. Move that so you don't get damaged as I'm carting it about. Well, I know it don't look like a lot, but it's taken me a day and a half to get here. But I've got the milling machine stripped down a bit just to move it, and I've got that on the bench now so I can clean it, and then I've got all the stuff in the boxes there to clean. So I don't know whether to carry on trying to clear this end or just clean this up first and then move it somewhere sort of done, ready to go back in, or what. Have to decide. I'm going to go and have a cup of tea. So just for the benefit of anyone who might have a WM14, they might want to take the bits one day. I'll just show you this bit as I'm going to keep stripping this right down to make sure there is no shit in it. But so the control box, which is mounted on the side, if you take the front panel, if you take this front panel off, which has just got 3 little Allen screws in the front, and this one on the back, which is the same, you just got 4 little Allen screws in the back of that, then you can, this one here, this lead, well, none of you can probably see that. Let me just move this up a bit. So this little lead here, you wouldn't normally have that. That's something I put on when the display on this packed up, so you wouldn't normally have this. That's just a little hall sensor I put in to give me an idea of the speed it was going. So you got this, which is, this goes on the cover, which is an interlock, so you can't switch it on until the cover's on. That the brown comes through to the switch here, and the blue goes off to the emergency stop, but it's crimped onto the emergency stop, so I'm going to disconnect the spade terminals on the actual micro switch, and then the motor's just on 2 terminals which you can trace through to the circuit board just here, and then if you disconnect them, and that's it. You can take the whole thing away. And put it all back together if you want later on, but I want to be able to get to this, and I want to take the motor off, and I want to take this off just to have a look at the gearbox in there. I'll stick him over there for now and get on with taking it to bits. I'm assuming the motor will just come off if I undo these two long bolts come through here, although the top feels like it's coming loose. This is the bolt out of this hole. Washer on that one. Get them up. Alright. Don't feel like the motor's come away from that. I'm just going to put them back then. Maybe this comes off with a whole plate. Not sure what I've done here. I want to get the motor cable out. Right, that's just come out with the brushes. That's just got the brushes in it, that bit, which I pretty much expected. I don't know how the motors quite sure what's occurring. Right, I'm going to undo these big top bolts, see what happens there. So you've got 6 bolts in here, 3 on this side, 3 on the other side, and they've all got this X screw with a locking washer. I'm hoping this whole top plate comes off with the motor. And so it does. This what's name I've got on here is causing me a problem now. I'll have to disconnect it. Well, we're getting there with the cleaning up of the WM14 mill. One of the mysteries I've always had with this is you get this little plastic bung that goes in here, and I've never been really sure whether this should have oil in it, grease or whatever, but now I've got it all in bits, and with the help of me little, this come out of the hospital, it's part of a bit of equipment that they have to scrap every now and again, but it has this little LED light on it which is really handy. It's got a little switch down here and it's really handy for looking in holes like this, and I won't be able to get the camera in there, but with this little light in here I can see exactly what's going on in here. There's no way you should put oil in here because it would just run out. It's not sealed, but it's just greased. You've just got this spindle which the motor drives this, and then you've got a spindle in there. This clicks between high and low, and it's just moving 2 different wheels up and down which engage with 2 wheels on the spindle. Basically the low speed is half the speed of the high speed. It's just like a 2-to-1 ratio. Wouldn't really call it a gearbox, but I suppose it is a gearbox. Not quite sure how you get to them. I presume you have to take this head right off. I mean, you can swivel this head. You undo this bolt here and you can swivel it. I've never ever done that because I've never needed to, and you'd have to get it set up and trammed again. But that was that little mystery sorted out. Now I know I've just got to squirt some grease in there now and again, but it's cleaning up all right. I've just got the control box to do and the actual beds, the X and Y beds, but it doesn't seem any the worse for its wear other than the motor. I mean, that's very carroty in there, so I'm going to take I will take the armour this out and give all this a good clean up and then start reassembling it. Yeah, so this all needs a good clean. There's quite a lot of crap in and around the actual windings, but I'll just give that as best clean up as I can. I mean, worst ways I'd have to replace the motor at some point. That's not the end of the world. But all in all, it's not too bad at the moment. So I'll just get on, clean the rest of it up and put it all back together. And then I can start on all the bits that are in the drawers. So that's it. That's the WM14 all cleaned up. It's not come out perfect, but it's functional, that's for sure. It all works, that's the main thing. The display cover, that got melted and buggered, which probably stopped the display from getting buggered. I didn't think it'd be a problem to get a new one of them, but I've been online, because that's an MDRO display, but I can't seem to find a new cover for it, so I'll either have to make one. I've got a little temporary bag stuck over it at the moment just to stop shit getting on it, which seems a bit pointless at the moment, just bearing in mind how much shit there is in here. But small steps. The milling machine's done. I've got to do some work in my garden now, and I need my big angle grinder, which is in that there. The milling machine is on that, and that lifts up that thing. I mean,
I've got to put that milling machine on that bench, but I can't lift it, so I'm going to have to wait for one of my son-in-laws to come over and give me a hand with that. But that's one thing done. See you next time. Bye, there you go.